are looking to complete another big victory over Leicester City. The 9-0 success in March of 2022, their joint biggest WSL success. But Leicester might have a bit of a spring in their step, having won 2 of their last 3 in the league, their only successes in the league since the first 2 games of the campaign back in October. And while Chelsea have put a number of goals past them in recent meetings, the Foxes were in fine goal-scoring form against Bristol City when they knocked in 5 against them midway through last month. Leicester in the middle of a good run of form, having won 4 of their 5 games before the international break in all competitions. Willie Kirk makes just one change to the side that won 5-2 against Bristol City last time out. Courtney Nevin comes in for England under-23 forward Shannon O'Brien, who drops out of the squad altogether after picking up an injury on international duty. 3 changes from Emma Hayes to the side that lost to Manchester City. Katerina Macario is included in the Chelsea squad for the first time since she signed from Lyon in July. The club's top scorer Lauren James is out through suspension, and Ashley Lawrence is on international duty with Canada, while Melanie Leupolz drops to the bench. Shankovic, Ritten Conried and Perisset are the ones to come in. Well, Chelsea, as I mentioned, with a bit of a striker shortage at the moment. Lauren James suspended after 5 yellow cards. There was a doubt over their all-time top goal scorer Fran Kirby, who picked up a knee injury with England. She is amongst the substitutes for Emma Hayes today. So Chelsea with a exemplary record away to Leicester City so far. 17 goals scored, none conceded. Looking to wrestle top spot back off Manchester City this evening with 3 points again on Leicester territory. Ramirez, player that many are keeping an eye on this season, although she's yet to score in the WSL for Chelsea, has made her presence felt, and it will be something that they will have to keep a firm eye on. So it will be Chelsea in the change strip of green to get us underway. Referee today is Phoebe Cross, the 3rd WSL game of her career, all of them coming this season. And on referee Phoebe Cross's whistle, the players, match officials and coaching staff all take a knee. Chelsea will be hoping it's a case of history repeating itself as they travel to Leicester City. They've won both of their visits, scoring 17 goals and conceding none, and are on course for an early opener here as well. Guro Reiten was almost in business. She was on target in the 8-0 success in December of 2022. Got 2 at Leicester in the 9-0 victory as well. And inside of 30 seconds, alarm bells ringing here. Ramirez with the glancing touch on, and Guro Reiten almost crept in. It'll be Reiten to take the resulting corner for Chelsea. Reiten's corner into a good area. Bjorn, Carter, and Cuthbert's touch just deserted her. There was a little nudge in there on Josie Green as well. Chelsea keeping up the pressure. No respite for Leicester early on. Delivered by Perisset. And good claim under pressure from Kopp. Dutch goalkeepers now started 6 of Leicester's last 8 games, all of the last 4 in the WSL. She'd only started 1 of the first 13 and none in the league this term prior to that run. Tibau. Here's Carter. Perisset. Chelsea are actually 3 points worse off than at the same stage of last season, and they've now lost 2 in the league in total as well. Last lost more than twice in a season when they were defeated 3 times back in 2016. That campaign they were runners-up. Ramirez, well, seen to have committed a foul there. Ramirez. Green. Kopp. It's a good pass from her. That's a lovely touch as well. And here goes Whelan, sending it wide. Courtney Nevin. Oof, and it nearly came the way of Mamiki. Nevin again. Held up by Ritten Conread. Takaraba's through ball. Now Perisset with a bit of a dicey challenge there. She nudged Yuka Momiki off it. Well, Willie Kirk may have been wondering if they might have had a shout for an early penalty there. Be pleased with the attack that led to the question being raised anyway. Generally done well in the matches that have followed after the winter break than before it. Averaging just under half a point a game before the winter interval, and well over 1 after its conclusion. Ramirez. Lovely pass from Lushkin. That stood up nicely. Charles underneath it. Ramirez interested. Leicester get a little bit lucky. Ramirez then illegally tried to win possession back for Chelsea. This was the shout, and I think that it was the right call. Perisset just stood her ground and ensured that Mamiki wasn't able to make anything of the opportunity. Handy player though, Yuka Mamiki. Played in all 8 games now since she joined Leicester and started all of the last 7. Popped up with a goal and 3 assists in her time in a Leicester shirt so far. She scored and laid on an assist in that 5-2 win against Bristol City. Ramirez this time gets the decision her way. Phoebe Cross seeing Josie Green clatter into Ramirez. Well, she's not got a goal in the WSL yet, but she certainly does ask questions of opposition defences, occupies players, and can sometimes create a bit of room for her teammates. And she's won this free kick here. Clipped in by Wrighton, back across by Charles, and in the right place was Courtney Nevin. It's only really halfway by Cayman. Perisset forced to go all the way back to Hannah Hampton. Leicester with 16 points from 14 matches, which is the joint most points that they've ever won in a WSL campaign. Also managed 16 last season. And surely set to top that. Defending to do here though, Ramirez trying to get on the end of it, and very good covering by Thibault. Well, Julie Thibault spotted the danger very, very early there, and although Ramirez was motoring to get on the end of it, there was no opportunity for her to beat the French fullback to the ball. Perisset's corner. Oh, and a free header from Jelena Cankovic. I think that Kopp would have had it covered. Well, it was well-powered goalwards. Josie Green was the player just in front of her goalkeeper, who ensured that a save wasn't necessary. Chelsea asking more of the questions early on. It's another useful looking corner. Here's Cankovic. Rantala forcing her backwards. It's a bit sloppy from Perisset, and that touch wasn't great either. Two very experienced managers in the dugout, with Emma Hayes up against Willie Kirk. Kirk, one of only 5 people to manage 100 or more WSL games, alongside, of course, Emma Hayes, as well as Matt Beard, Kelly Chambers and Nick Cushing. That looks offside to me. Wrighton's touched back, and indeed the flag is raised by Charlotte Massey-Ellis. Not a great deal in it, mind, but from that angle looks to be just about the right call. Now, problem here, and I didn't spot any particular challenge that might have caused it, which is always a worry. Gives Willie Kirk an opportunity to get some instructions out after what has been fairly tricky opening period to the game, with Chelsea applying pressure. His record against Chelsea and Emma Hayes doesn't make for pleasant reading for Willie Kirk. 15 times he's come up against them, and he's lost 14 of them. The only victory he's managed was with Everton in their FA Cup quarter-final win in September of 2020. So generally Emma Hayes has had the last laugh when they've gone head-to-head. It looks as though Josie Green will be okay. Wasn't entirely obvious what the issue was for Green. He was awarded the October Manager of the Month award, beat Matt Beard, Emma Hayes, Gareth Taylor and Robert Villaham to earn it. And he's only been in post for just over a year, really. Took the reins in November of 2022 and led Leicester to WSL safety. No such concerns for him this time around. Very healthy mid-table position that they currently occupy, and they could move above Spurs with a success here tonight. Momiki. Now Rantala. Thibault. On the corner from Rantala, and that's worked out nicely for Tierney. Rantala, and still gets the shot in, and Hampton gets fully behind it. Well, if there was one player that you fancied might pose some problems for Chelsea this evening, it is the Foxes' flying Finn. Jutta Rantanen in excellent form this season since the end of the winter break. 3 goals and 4 assists for club and country, and testing Hampton there. Hampton into Neve Charles, who's coughed up possession. Leicester enjoying a good period. Whelan. Charles in the way, and Charles gets it away. Rantanen. CJ Bott. Rantanen again. Bott lets it run, that's clever. Takarada held up by Carter. Rantanen, good ball. Oh, and a risky challenge flying in there on Takarada. This is a really good period for Leicester City. Chelsea applying the pressure early on, now it's down at their end. Well, wasn't the most convincing header from Ed Perisset. Has cleared the danger for now at the expense of a corner. He'll enjoyed the last few minutes. Might be watching that back. Rantanen will take training ground routine into Mamiki. Well, they've worked that really well, and it nearly turned into a perfect pass for Yuka Mamiki. Neat and tidy from Leicester as they went short with the corner. Have scored 21 WSL goals already this season, Leicester City, most they've ever scored in an entire WSL campaign. Their previous best was 15 last season, and showing some attacking bite in the last few minutes. Well anticipated by Thibaut. Carter finds safety in Hampton. Now Bjorn. Here's Carter. You can't see a repeat of the absolute thumpings that Chelsea have dished out away at Leicester in the 2 previous WSL games on Leicester territory, judging by the opening quarter of an hour. That's arced across wonderfully well to pick out Charles. And still, well, credit has to go to CJ Bott for the way that she levered Neve Charles away from the ball. Bott forwards. Here's Cuthbert. Haven't seen too much of Erin Cuthbert so far. In a game where the ball has generally been shifted out wide. And the flag is up as it's collected from out wide by Johanna Ritten-Conried. Chelsea on the hunt for a 5th successive WSL title, and in need of a win today to wrestle top spot back from Manchester City after their success against Everton. Emma Hayes was philosophical after that defeat to Manchester City. Said that everyone gets beat and you have to accept it. She's not one to stew over anything. Life's too short for that. Might have something to stew over here, though. Rantala, good hit. And the rebound should have been tucked away by Yuka Mamiki. Well, Leicester need to make this period of pressure pay. You won't get too many opportunities against Chelsea, you wouldn't have thought. Rantala's effort was palmed away by Hampton, only as far as Yuka Mamiki. And when she let fly, I think it might have just kissed the post on its way past. Hampton got something on it as well. It's a good save from the Chelsea keeper, a good double save, really. Corner is away. Rantala back in. Carter underneath it. Chelsea being tested. Ramirez, excellent work. And now leading the counter, Mayra Ramirez. It's been a really good carry from the Colombian, but then she just bit off a bit more than she could chew, and the move breaks down. Leicester look like a team in the middle of a good run of form. 4 wins from their 5 games before the international break. And Willie Kirk said that it was a shame that they had the break to stop their momentum. So they went into the pause with back-to-back wins and 11 goals. It looks as though they're finding that flow once again here, though. Charles. Hacked up towards Ramirez. Josie Green has done very nicely there. Tierney. Oof, could have been a bit nasty that for Kopp. Not someone that's obviously on international duty at the moment. Chelsea missing a fair few. And Willie Kirk was talking about the fact that not having many away during the international break has certainly helped a bit. A couple came back injured, but the ones who didn't necessarily come back in good health. Deanne Rose still away at the Gold Cup. Kopp. It's a nice pass. Tierney. Takarada, good vision. And now Bott on the move. Rantala wants it. Rantala. Not quite enough elevation to pick out Courtney Nevin. There's a bit of swagger about Leicester at the moment. Willie Kirk was talking about wanting to build on that 5-2 win over Bristol City. The main job in training has been to try and get the momentum back as quickly as possible. You can see there that last 5 minutes, Leicester have been hogging the ball, and they've got it again here. It was the right idea, and it forced Natalie Bjorn to pop it out for the throw. Bot. Oh, nice idea, and Cayman was slightly caught in her heels, otherwise she would have had a shooting chance. Now needs to get back at Johanna Rytting-Conried, who's flying forwards. Ramirez in the centre, Chankovic arriving as well towards Ramirez. And once again, Julie Thibault gets her positioning spot on. It's a few times tonight that she's managed to ensure she was in just the right area to clear the danger. Carter. Carter. Momiki. Nowhere near Eileen Whelan, who's been feeding off scraps so far. The first fixture in November saw Chelsea rack up a number of goals again. They won 5-2. Although Rantanen and Tierney both managed to find the net. Those are the only goals Leicester have ever scored against Chelsea previously, though. Carter. Boomed forwards to Charles, who took it nicely. Has been dispossessed by Jutta Rantala, who's everywhere at the moment. Cuthbert with the foul. Arrowed across to Bot. Takarada. Oh, that's a lovely switch of play. Courtney Nevin now. Well, Hampton with safe hands. Chelsea with limited forward options for this game due to injuries and suspension. Lauren James, their top scorer, suspended after picking up 5 yellow cards. And as well as James, Sam Kermy, official, and Katrina Macario have all been long-term absentees. Macario is on the Blues bench this evening, as is Fran Kirby, who picked up that knee problem with England. I mentioned players being absent on international duty. Mayra Ramirez was wanted by Colombia for the Gold Cup, but Chelsea refused to release her for the tournament, which means that she can continue her hunt for a first ever WSL goal. Only one so far came against Crystal Palace in the FA Cup last month. Ramirez trying to put the squeeze on here. And she's left something in there. And that's a few this evening, and I wonder if Phoebe Cross is just telling her that they are all totting up. Yep, there you go. 3 already, no more. Carter. Perisic. Perisic, now Ritten Conried. Ramirez on the turn. And still Ramirez. 4 to aim for in the area, but it's too close to Kopp. It's a bit better from Chelsea, who have just looked a little bit stale since their opening blitz in the first few minutes. Chankovic. Carter. Leicester come into this with 2 wins from their last 3 in the WSL, with 1 defeat in that time. It's their only league victory since they won the opening 2 games of the campaign back in October. And that 5-2 success against struggling Bristol City also saw them set new club records in the WSL for shots and shots on target. And they've brought that attacking impetus into this game against the champions, going toe-to-toe with the half-hour mark approaching. And again, almost a very nice combination of play, and Niamh Charles gets the free kick. Well, Sam Tierney didn't think she'd done anything wrong here. Perisic. Chankovic. Cuthbert. Tidied up by Cayman. Nudged forwards towards Whelan. Hayes doesn't look too pleased with what she's seen so far. It's been a bit of a struggle. And Ramirez has been caught in the face there. There was a little bit of chat in the build-up to this game about Leicester's amount of fouls. Willie Kirk saying that he saw Emma Hayes mention in her press conference that they foul more than any other team in the league, and that she wanted a strong referee this evening. And he countered by saying that they've got their identity, and defensively they're just a lot better than they were last year. Half an hour played then, and the champions looking for a way through. Nearly came all the way through. Charles was loitering. Ritten Conried. No obvious option for her, so back she goes. It's very straightforward for Mamiki. Might be in a bit of a pickle here. Ramirez has managed to help win possession back for Chelsea. But, she was seen to have fouled Kopp by Sean Macielis, I think. Ramirez saying it was shoulder to shoulder. Didn't seem to be an initial whistle from the referee. Now that's what Sean Macielis spotted, and then the whistle did come from Phoebe Cross. You can see Ramirez's argument there that she felt it was just shoulder to shoulder. Handy pass to find Nevin. Quick look up from Nevin. Guro Brighton. Lovely ball, Ramirez chasing. And the flag just checks her progress. Well, it looked close. I'm not sure she was offside. Sean Macielis had a perfect view of it though, bang in line. Cuthbert. Hannah Hampton. Out to Charles. Brighton out-muscled. Charles wins it back for Chelsea with a strong challenge. Well, it's turned into a bit of an arm wrestle between the teams now. Ten minutes to go until the break, and Leicester have more than held their own so far. When you think about the fact that the 5 previous WSL meetings have been won by Chelsea by an aggregate score of 32, this is very much against the grain in the context of the fixture. Nevin. Early ball is good. Carter stretching. Speeding forwards is Ritten Conried. Nushkin. That's broken kindly for Rantala to have a run. Bott. Not quite. Well, he will be very enamoured with the first half an hour of this game. Chelsea started like an engine, but as the half has gone on, Emma Hayes' side have found it a lot more even Steven. Remember, they haven't lost successive WSL games since July 2015. Chelsea against Sunderland and Manchester City. Their last defeat was to Manchester City. Britton Conread looking to release Guro Reiten. Excellent work from CJ Bott. Well, the covering work of the defence for Leicester thus far has been exemplary. Thibaut on a number of occasions, and CJ Bott very alert there. Reiten swings it in. That's not the most ideal clearing header. Green trying to get it further. Clearance in! Chelsea lead! Isn't that just like the champions to somehow find a way through? Natalie Bjorn with the improvised finish, and just when Chelsea looked like they were struggling to find a way through, they have found a way. Well, it all came about after that unconvincing clearing header, and then Bjorn managed to get it up and over the keeper. Well, the Swede with her first goal for Chelsea since joining in January, and she scores against the team managed by Willie Kirk, who she played under at Everton. It's a really clever finish. No real chance for Kopp, who is disappointed at the attempt from Josie Green to get the ball away from on the goal line. It's a sucker punch for Leicester, who will feel that they were more than good value for the all-square scoreline. But that is what champions do. Looking for the immediate response here. Have to be wary of leaving themselves a bit open at the back. Ramirez was chomping at the bit there. Well, one back by Mamiki. 5 minutes to go until the interval, and what has been a keenly contested first half. That header nearly worked out for Whelan. Ramirez against Thibaut. Jankovic back here for Cuthbert. Nushkin lost her footing, kept the ball, and Chelsea have a throw. Reiten sends the signal. Whipped in by Brighton. Oh, they were all queuing up in there. And Bjorn, who's already scored, was sensing a second here. Britton Conread. Shankovic finds Carter. On from Perisset. Leicester have certainly had their moments in this first half. That same towards Ramirez, held up by Green. Ramirez, taking a bit of a gamble there was Josie Green. Nushkin. Ramirez has seen the whistle go against her a number of times tonight. She might have thought that there was half a shout for a penalty in there against Green. Simply taking a gamble when you make a challenge like that. Bot. On from Rantala. Well, Leicester need to ensure that their heads don't drop after conceding to Bjorn's goal, as they had been more than a match for the champions up until then. Bot. Thibault has to be careful. Ramirez has picked her pocket. And Myra Ramirez is through here and scores her first WSL goal to double Chelsea's lead and put them firmly on course to return to the top of the table tonight. That's the one she's been waiting for. The Colombian now up and running in the league after nicking the ball off Julie Thibault and showing great pace as well as calmness to make the most of the mistake. Won it cleanly and then showed a clean pair of heels as she surged away. Out came Kopp, but it was very straightforward for Myra Ramirez to skip around her and then tap home. Chelsea strike twice in quick succession and now have the 3 points very firmly within their sights. Delighted with the scoreline, I'm sure, but probably would admit that Leicester have given them some nervy moments. We're going to have 3 minutes added on at the end of this half. Carter. Ev Perisset hasn't got it very far away. Shankovic, early pass was read well by CJ Bott. Well, not much to choose between the sides when it comes to the attempts so far, but that's going to be no consolation to him. Chelsea with 2 goals from 3 attempts on target. Brighton. Early release was nowhere near any of her teammates. Bot. It's going to be Tierney with this throw then for Leicester City. Ramirez fancies a run against Bot here, and she's got the ball still, no foul. Myra Ramirez lays it off. Nearly smuggled into her own net by Kopp. It will be a corner. It could have been a lot more embarrassing for the Leicester keeper here. I think everyone expected there to be a free kick against Bot here. Ramirez, though, just held her line in the eyes of Phoebe Cross. And that could have been a very awkward moment for Kopp. Likely to be the last meaningful action of this first half. Delivered by Guro Wrighton. Need to get on with it, Chelsea, if they want to make anything of it. And Kopp claims, and that will be that for the first half, you would have thought. Well, mistakes at both ends of the pitch, really. Leicester had their opportunities to take the lead against Chelsea, but failed to take them. And when they failed to clear a corner properly, Natalie Bjorn was able to lob in her first goal for Chelsea. Then Myra Ramirez, who has been a constant menace, surged clear to get her first in the WSL since joining the Blues. So two of the new signings have set Chelsea on their way to a familiar old story, a victory against Leicester City at the interval. Leicester City 0, Chelsea 2. So Leicester City get this second half underway, kicking from right to left. Although they trail by 2-0, I wonder if the message has been more of the same, please, from Willie Kirk. Confirmation of the change at the interval. Cuthbert off and Ingle is on. Carter giving chase, but it will safely come through to Hampton. Made a couple of very sharp saves in that first half. Complexion of the game could have been completely different had it not been for those blocks that she made. Defeat at Manchester City ended a run of 10 successive wins in all competitions for her team. Set to get back to winning ways this evening. Carter. If Leicester want to get something out of the game, they are going to have to take a few more risks, and saw a couple of times the quick counter that Ramirez can lead and the danger that that brings. Ingle forwards, Ramirez's little nudge on. CJ Bott gets back. In slides Nushkin. Bott. Held up by Ramirez, but Manages to work it back. Now it's all the way back with Kopp. Cayman. Kopp again. Try to thread it through towards Courtney Nevin. Hushkin's pushed that on to Ritten Conried. Still Johanna Ritten Conried. Perisset. Shankovic. Perisset. Given straight to Julie Thibault, who will be desperate to try and make a positive impact, given the errors that led to the Chelsea goals. That's nicely done. Mamiki kept out by Hannah Hampton, although flag is now raised. I think it would have counted had the shot beaten Hannah Hampton. It was on the rebound that the flag went up. Well, I think if the effort there had managed to go in, then the goal wouldn't have been struck off. It was just on the follow-up that the flag was raised. Ramirez loses out. Chelsea, the only team in the WSL this season yet to lose a point when they've scored first this term. They've won all 10 games when they've got the opening goal. And having added to that lead, well set to continue that run this season. Perisset gets it away. Made a bit of a mess of clearing that one. Mamiki. Courtney Nevin. Just levered off it by Perisset. Perisset having a pretty tidy game at the back, the French defender. Only her second start in the last 6 WSL matches, the other coming in the 3-0 success away at Brighton in January. Hasn't scored for Chelsea yet, and considering that Natalie Bjorn has opened her account and Myra Ramirez got her first in the WSL, it might be an evening for firsts in that regard. Cayman. Kopp. Ramirez, lovely turn. Ritten Conried waits in the middle. Ramirez still carries. Myra Ramirez. Oh, almost a terrific goal from Myra Ramirez after she surged into the Leicester area. Well, she's issuing a couple of apologies to teammates who were potentially better placed than her, such as Jelena Chankovic, who had stormed into the area, and Johanna Ritten Conried, both of them waiting for the pass that never came. Rantala going to ground, but not getting anything from the referee. Here's Carter. Ritten Conried latched onto that. There's no flag. Johanna Ritten Conried just lost her way after she'd somehow found a way beyond the Leicester backline. Nushkin. Ramirez. Well, no sign that Chelsea are looking to just sit and protect the 2-goal lead that they currently have. She was patched up in the first half, and I wonder if it's whatever that niggle was that has led to her going down again here. Chelsea already making one change, and is Willie Kirk going to be forced into a shuffling of the pack here? Yep, looks as though her race is run. Well, again, it wasn't obvious coming together of any kind that led to the issue for Josie Green, just as it was in the first half that led to her being bandaged up. But, one of Leicester's 3 centre-halves heads off. And on in her place is Sophie Howard, Scottish defender who has played in all but one of their games this season, starting 17 of 20. So first team regular that steps in for Josie Green. Ramirez has been dragged down by Julie Thibault. That's been an ongoing battle throughout the evening. Well, a set piece led to Chelsea's opening goal. What have they got up their sleeve here? Tossed in by Perisset, and stretching, Kopp makes the save. Ingle, Cankovic dug out the pass nicely, but it was read by Bott early up towards Whelan. Nevin away from Perisset, but then let herself down with the final ball. Storming forwards here is Ritting-Conried. Ritting-Conried. Carter. Perisset. Carter. Right, and turning into trouble. Takarada. Newly arrived Sophie Howard plays out from the back, and it's collected by CJ Bott. And that's a bit of a hit and hope. Chelsea scoring through Natalie Bjorn's first for the club, but a first in the WSL for Mayra Ramirez, which means they've now had 15 different scorers in the WSL this season, which is the most that any side have had. Yushkin. Perisset. Ritting-Conried. Ingles' little dab forwards, and here she is again. Chelsea negotiating the opening quarter of an hour of the second half without any really cause for alarm, and in fact they're looking to get what could be a killer third. Ramirez with the turn and hit. Carter. Generally come on strong after the interval, Chelsea. They've scored the most second half goals this season and conceded the fewest after the interval in the WSL this term. That's given away to Ritten Conried. Here she is again. Not quite the touch she was hoping for. Tiba. Bot. Nevin. Still Nevin. Back from Carter. Cleared by Hannah Hampton. Helped on to Guro Reiten, on her own for now. Reiten will have a pop. And it's blocked behind by CJ Bott for a Chelsea corner. Well, the New Zealand international tracking back well to shut the door on Guro Reiten. Reiten won the corner and she's taken it as well, met by Sophie Howard. Back out wide for Guro Reiten. Guro Reiten's ball in, didn't have enough height to clear Takarada. That's a better looking ball, and well watched by Courtney Nevin. Jankovic was waiting, but Nevin got there first. Well, there's been a shout for offside against Jankovic in any event. Carter. Charles stands it up. Ramirez stretching. Perisset back into the mix. Ingle tried to get up there. Charles will collect for Chelsea. Another goal now, and the points are absolutely in the bag, you feel. Unbeaten in their last 29 WSL matches when they've scored the first goal, winning 27 of them. And they look extremely well set to add another victory to that particular statistic tonight. Ingle, here's Carter. Howard was underneath it, but the header not ideal. Charles, won back well by CJ Bott. Bott away from Charles. CJ Bott with a really good carry. Nevin wants it on this near side. She goes the other way. Just lost a bit of momentum by choosing that option, but Bott was nearly in again. Lung bursting run forwards from CJ Bott. Picked up the ball just outside of her own area and then surged away. You just wonder if she'd gone left rather than right, if Courtney Nevin might have been the better option. Perisset. came into the weekend as the joint highest scorers away from home in the WSL this season. Chelsea 17 on their travels before the 2 they bagged this evening. Look more than capable of adding to those 2 on their travels tonight as well. Although that's well intercepted by Janice Cayman. Bot. Next up for Chelsea, a potential opportunity for some vengeance against Manchester City, a top-of-the-table clash in the League Cup semi-finals in midweek. And then it's more cup action for them at the weekend in the quarter-final when they travel to Everton. And the big games just keep on coming with Arsenal after that. Big chance here, meanwhile, for Ritten Conried. 3-0. And that will do it for Chelsea, you feel. Johanna Ritten Conried puts clear daylight between the champions and Leicester City. Emma Hayes can surely toast returning to the top of the table now. Her first goal since scoring in the defeat to Arsenal back in December for the Swede. And while it got a hefty deflection on it, I don't think there's any doubt that it's her goal, as it cannoned off Janice Cayman. Well, all 3 Leicester goals, or all 3 goals Leicester have conceded tonight have been very avoidable from their perspective, but Chelsea have pounced when opportunity is knocked. Well, Willie Kirk deciding now's the time to bring the changes. Eva Baker coming on along with Peterman. Feel a bit sorry for Eileen Whelan, who's one of those who's departed, because real tough ask for her tonight with not a great deal of service. Hampton chasing another clean sheet this evening. He'll just be thinking back to that period in the first half when they were in the ascendancy and Hampton made that really good double save, although Mamiki perhaps shouldn't have given her the opportunity to even have the possibility of making the save when it came out to her. Midway through the second half, as Hampton sends it forwards. Mamiki up the line by Nevin, but not enough juice on the pass. Pushkin for Carter. Only conceded 5 away goals in the WSL this season. Chelsea, only Manchester City, who have let in 4 on their travels, have conceded fewer. And Leicester's chances of troubling the scorers have diminished as the game has gone on. Wrighton. Charles. Oh, free header! Should have been for Nushkin, with the opportunity that she's unable to take. Well, it's some ball in this, and you have to say it deserved better, really. Next up for Leicester is an FA Cup quarter-final away at Liverpool next weekend, and face a Tottenham side just above them in the table. The 4 matches with Brighton and Aston Villa before they go into the home straight of the campaign, with trip to Arsenal and then a home game with Manchester United. They stayed up on the final day last season, Leicester. Certainly not going to have that kind of anxious climax this time around. Not with the points all but assured. An opportunity with the games coming thick and fast for the champions, for Emma Hayes to just give a breather to some of her starters. Ramirez. Oh, that's lovely. Ritting Conread. Beautifully done. Oh, what a save that is. It's a gorgeous Chelsea move, and Nushkin denied by a top stop from Kopp. Wrighton. Side netting. Well, that's the save of the game. After the move of the game from Chelsea. Lovely interchange of passes. Nushkin going for goal, and it's a big hand from Kopp to keep her out. Bjorn. Nushkin. That's going to be a Leicester ball by the looks of things. Nevin. Howard. Now here's the newly arrived Baker trying to make something happen, but just ran out of pitch in the end. Triple change then for the away side, and this is a big moment for Caterina Macario, making her Chelsea debut. She's been out with an ACL injury since the summer of 2022. Last senior appearance that she made was for Lyon back in June of 2022. Signed in the summer of last year, and now the American is on for her first minutes in a Chelsea shirt. Fran Kirby will get a late cameo as well. No goal for Nushkin this evening. She had that really good headed opportunity. And Aggie Beaver-Jones gets an opportunity to try and put her name on the score sheet. Wrighton withdrawn for the forward. Viva Jones scored from the bench in Chelsea's 5-2 WSL victory against Leicester in November. 7 goals this season, 5 in the league, which has equalled her best scoring season already. Takarada stepping in. Here's Baker. Trying to bring Bott into it, read by Charles. Viva Jones. Ingle. Well, the crowd enjoying first touches for Macario. Chelsea next, away to Manchester City in the League Cup, then another trip to the north when they go to Everton in the FA Cup before a crunch encounter against Arsenal in the league in a couple of weeks' time. Also have the Champions League on the horizon with home and away games against Ajax after that big showdown against Arsenal. Tierney. Sophie Howard. Nevin forwards. And it's been a bit listless from Leicester. That middle part of the first half, they were really on top and asking some serious questions. But the 2 quick-fire Chelsea goals towards the end of the half knocked the stuffing out of them, and they've never really recovered. Perisset. Ingle. Back from Carter. Nevin. On from Rantala. Ritten Conread. Viva Jones. There's some that are suggesting that Frank Kirby wasn't quite ready to start this game, then perhaps bringing her on from the bench is a risk, especially with the match already being in the bag for Chelsea. Back from Macario. Carter with the switch. The goal difference could still be pivotal, considering how tight it is at the top between Manchester City and Chelsea. So they'll be looking to add to their tally here. And is this the moment? It is! How about that? Caterina Macario, after having such a long wait to make her Chelsea debut because of that awful injury, she hasn't taken long to open her account for the Blues. Minutes after her introduction, She finds the back of the net, and that's the biggest plus of the night for Chelsea. Shorn of some of their key forwards, she has stepped up to find the net in style here. Just over 5 minutes she had been on the pitch, and she has stepped up to rifle this one home. Fine finish. And the American, who has been out with an ACL injury since June of 2022, has her first goal in Chelsea colours, and her first goal for anyone since scoring for Lyon in May of 2022, just a touch under 2 years ago. Rantala chasing, Carter gets it back. Chelsea perhaps a bit sluggish in the first half, but they've been bang on point since the interval. Looks like a yellow card here, perhaps. Change occurred as well there, with Hamano coming on for Jana Ritting-Conried. Last appearance for Chelsea was in the League Cup quarter-final against Sunderland earlier on last month. Only a second ever Chelsea appearance, having joined in January of last year. Confirmation of that substitution from Emma Hayes. Fifth and final one of the game. Hamano won't be able to keep that in. Well, it didn't look as though it was going to be another big Chelsea win over Leicester, but that's the way it's panned out. Going to see Emilia Pelganda come on for the last few minutes, and Denny Draper as well. Kirby. Shankovic couldn't quite find Ingle. Mamiki, who despite being on the losing side is a contender for one of the standout players in this game. Carter. Chelsea returning to the summit with a flourish. While it was a bit awkward for Manchester City against Everton, and Arsenal only managed to see off Spurs by a goal to nil, it's a thumping Chelsea victory as they return to winning ways in style after losing to City in their last league game. Forwards by Howard. Howard goes back. Have been a bit porous late on in games, Leicester. Let in 9 in the final 15 minutes coming into this, the most of any WSL team in the division. As things stand, going to be 6 wins from 6 in the WSL for Chelsea against Leicester by a scoreline of 34 goals to 2. Jankovic. Won't be able to get there, Beaver Jones, before it goes out, which will give Leicester the chance to make these changes. Well, Leicester's best player for me, Yuka Mamiki, who goes off and gets a big hand as a result. Emilia Talganda is her replacement. And Jutta Rantala, who was running things early on, but just seemed to run out of a bit of gas as the game went on. He's also withdrawn, and as said, Denny Draper comes on. Still got one change left up his sleeve should he wish to make it. So Emilia Talganda turns 20 today, the Swedish midfielder. She has been on the sub as a sub in all of the last 4 matches now since joining in January. Her only appearances for the club. And Denny Draper, the 16-year-old talent, turns 17 later on this month. Already the youngest player and youngest goal scorer in the WSL this season, and she bagged against Bristol City last month. 4th youngest WSL goal scorer of all time. Another youngster there in the shape of Ava Baker. So essentially a bright future ahead for Leicester, given the young talent at Willie Kirk's disposal. And what a moment for Macario. And you can see what it meant to Emma Hayes as well. And could she be the difference maker during the title run-in as well? Leicester haven't had a shot since the 49th minute of the game. That is the way that the match has just gone firmly in the champions' favour after a fairly even opening, 40 minutes or so before Bjorn put Chelsea in front. Perese kept it in. Hamano, poor touch from her. Thibaut under pressure. Clattered away by Kopp. Hamano. Asking Jankovic to chase. There's a right wrestle going on there, and decision goes against Jankovic. Well, instinctive finish May have been out for a long time, but she has not lost her eye for goal. Risky from Ingle. Bot. Baker. Tierney. Tierney again. Kirby lays it off. Thibaut. Just over 90 seconds of the 90 minutes remain now. I don't think she was expecting that, but she's poked it on here for Julie Thibaut. Charles. Coolly done. Beaver Jones. Lifted forwards for Macario to chase. Thibaut deals with it and gets it back to Kopp. Oh, that's given straight to Kirby. Macario. Hamano should have been 5. And she knows it. Well, risky to play out from the back there. Kirby was onto it immediately. And unselfish from Macario to tee it up for the Japanese international, who should have had her first goal for Chelsea. Oh, another chance to open her account for Chelsea after another Leicester error at the back. Thibaut is mightily relieved. Hamano into additional time, of which there'll be 5 minutes. Five minutes added time, and Chelsea chasing a 5-goal win. Chelsea would move above Manchester City after 15 games in the WSL, and with a goal difference superior by 2. They will be 3 points ahead of Arsenal as well. Hamano. Nevin. Here's Tierney. Carter won the header. Mopped up by Bjorn. Perisset. Hamano. Oh, that's turned into a handy pass for Kirby. Frank Kirby. Jelena Cankovic. Perisset. Ingle. Not quite the right line and length for Charles to be able to latch onto. Heading towards an 8th clean sheet in their last 10 WSL away games are Chelsea. It'll be 8 victories, 1 draw and 1 defeat in their most recent 10 games on their travels in the league. And a fine response after the disappointment against Manchester City. And what it does is tee up that game against Arsenal very nicely indeed. Baker almost through, but Carter with immaculate timing. Charles. Ingle has shunted that straight into the path of Tierney. Baker. She was aiming to slip in Peterman, but she wasn't quite on the same page. Carter. Hampton with the big switch, and too big for anyone in a Chelsea shirt to keep in. Well, she would probably admit that they weren't at their very best at the start of the game, but as the match has gone on, they have shown their class. Tierney. Final minute of additional time. Plenty of positives for him to take from the first half showing at the least. But it will be another heavy defeat to Chelsea for Leicester City, and another defeat for him against Chelsea as well. Out to Kirby, probably the last attack of the game. Hamano. Corner. Chelsea will need to hurry if they want to take it. Well, they don't seem in any great rush to get on with it. Plenty crowding around Kopp in the Leicester goal. Perese's corner is cleared. Hamano. Chelsea return to the top of the WSL table in style. Emma Hayes' side were given a bit of a test by Leicester in the first half, but then showed their quality. Natalie Bjorn with her first goal for the club. Myra Ramirez then weighed in with her first in the WSL. Johanna Rytting-Conried made the point safe after that goal from Ramirez with her strike in the second half. And then the moment of the match really for Chelsea, Caterina Macario scoring on her Chelsea debut after being out of action due to injury since June of 2022. Her smile is the broadest inside the King Power this evening, and you can see just how delighted her teammates are for her as well. A great moment for her and for Chelsea, and a great result for Emma Hayes' side as well, who are back on top of the table. Leicester City 0, Chelsea 4.